Show, joined now by Coach Houston Nutt here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Coach, one of the things Matt Jones always talked about is your love for dual sport athletes. And I know you guys used to play a little pickup back in the day, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Ah, there we go.
He was tough to handle, too, now.
Yeah. Well, Coach, it's good to hear your voice. I know you spoke at the awards banquet last night for the Great American Conference, and I know this league, for a lot of reasons, has a special place in your heart.
Boy, it does. It does. Many a day my dad took me to watch the old AIC basketball tournaments, and man, there's a lot of good basketball. And same thing this year. You know, you see a lot of teams that very athletic. Maybe not the 6'9", 6'10", you know, the big major Power 1s, but I tell you what, you'll see some play if you're around the Fort Smith area. You'll see some 6'4", 6'5", and guards 6'2", 6'1", 5'11" that can put the ball in the hole, and very, very good, very fundamentally sound.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of ball. I mean, the connection, for those that don't know, your brother Dennis coaches at Ouachita Baptist. I know that I've seen you at many of his games. You'll drive up from Dallas. You made road trips to all across this league. Beyond just the obvious connection with your brother, what is it about the games, the competition, what you see that get you in the car and drive several hours to watch?
Well, of course, we're very close. Our brothers, my brothers and I, were very close. And whenever you go into that gym, you know, it's just it goes back to 4 little boys. You know, my dad taking 4 little boys and living in that Arkansas school for the deaf. That was our playground. And so every game was something very special to us. And then when you get to the tournament, and I was telling the story last night, I'll never forget the very first tournament. I went to St. Joseph's High School. My dad was coaching Arkansas School for the Deaf. We're playing Greenbrier, and that was the first time at the age of 9 he was explaining to me the bracket. And if you win this game, you play the next game. You move from this bracket to this bracket. You play the winner of the team that's playing behind us. He went through it. And so you have these thoughts about all the history of the way you grew up, and so it's exciting for me because I love going into the gym, the smell of popcorn, and especially tournament time. Seems like everybody's going a little bit faster.
Coach, you're doing some coaching these days, not necessarily college football, but Michael Beaumont, who's the director of athletics for Fort Smith Public Schools, telling you're coaching your grandkids, aren't you?
Well, they're 3 years of age and 2 years of age. So, hey, I do get them outside. I do put a ball in their hand now.
That's great.
Start them young as best you can.
Oh yeah, because you know the moms and dad, they got the iPads and stuff going, and so when Pappy gets there, it's okay. We're gonna put that up for a while.
You don't want to be
going outside.
You don't want to be the iPad grandpa. You don't want your grandkids to be the iPad grandkids.
Yeah. They got to get somebody. And I'm all for phonics and ABCs and get smart and all that, but I'm gonna let the others do that. I'm gonna get them outside and put a ball in their hand and get them going.
Work them out. Take them for ice cream, send them home.
Yeah.
That's it.
all the fun stuff. Coach, I know getting ready for football season, I know it's a while till August, but a lot of stuff is accomplished this time of year. And I don't know if you got a chance. Sam Pittman was on Chuck and Bo earlier this morning. He talked about kind of his set. What does that look like for a head coach kind of gearing up? And I know things have changed a lot with NIL and the current structure of college athletics, but what did that look like for you in the offseason, getting ready for your team the upcoming fall?
Yeah, I always loved off-season, and that's where you really start to build your team. And actually, the winter workout, once we got the signing date out of the way, they'd been in the weight room. Your strength coach is so important because they had them the entire time during the recruiting time. And so now you do these workouts, and that's where you invest. You sacrifice. You make this investment. And the redshirt freshmen and the ones that's been holding those dummies all year long, now it's their time, and they see the light. I got a chance to go compete for a position. And that's, to me, where you get them better in the spring. You find out about your team, and there's nothing like where you don't have the pressure of trying to put a game plan together. You don't have a game, but you're trying to get your players better, and you're building this culture and this team. to me, that's one of the greatest times there is. Now, when I go and speak to football teams, the one thing that's different, as you mentioned, times have changed. The one thing that's different, like when I spoke to SMU, Rhett told me that, 27 players didn't go through all season or spring. They got there in June and July. And so this mass transfer portal, the massive movement, it makes things much more difficult. For the first time to have your team in August is so much different than the question that you're asking me about what's it like for the spring. Well, we had all our players, there. And so we were looking forward to the fall, and we have in our mind, okay, we may make some moves, and we're going to move him from a safety to a linebacker, or we're going to move him from wide out to tailbacker, things like that. And so it would be much different for me now to say, we got 27 players that's all played their experience. They hadn't set foot on campus yet, hadn't been in a locker room yet. Now, that would be different.
Houston Nutt with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Coach, a hot topic around college football is the addition of a general manager to the staff of a football program in today's modern world. What do you think of that? And just kind of what are your thoughts on this expanding role and seemingly the gap between college football and pro football narrowing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I hear a lot of talk about that all over the country, and all these moving parts are so much different than when I coached. And, I haven't coached a team in 13 years, so now when you look at it, general manager, that probably makes sense. You have so many things that are moving, these moving parts I'm talking about, the transfer portal. When I walk into these schools, these colleges, they have 2 or 3 guys just looking at the portal, looking at the transfer. So you got 3 different types of recruiting going on. So it's going to take some very good organization. And, a general manager to me would be a guy that would help in that area as far as, the evaluation of what your team, the needs of your team. And, you still have high school, you got junior college, and then you got transfer portal. You got a lot going on right there. And so, to me, you go back to that guy, whoever the point guy, whether it be a recruiting coordinator or that general manager, and now you start bringing in the money part of it as well. And that to me, is where the general manager, because each team has recruiting coordinators on campus, and they have their eyes on all 3 levels. So what I mean by that is high school, junior college, and transfers portal. And so now it's, you start the negotiations deal. Coach, we can get him for $250, but now TCU just came in. They offered $275. What are we going to do? It's that kind of deal that to me is much, much different. And that's what you said, which is so true. It's getting closer, if not already, the NFL type.
So, with your experience of the game, your understanding of the game, your experience talking to kids, is that a role that would interest you at some school and possibly Arkansas? Has anyone reached out to you about possibly talking about a role as a general manager?
No, nobody's reached out to me right now. And
would you be interested if they did?
I don't. It'd have to be a great fit. Where you want to be able to wake up and go to work and know that someone needs you, and you feel like the chemistry and everything would, to me, all that's so important. It'd have to be a good fit, because right now I got a really good schedule. I go speak to teams and speak to corporations, and then I go chase 2 grandsons. That's hard. That's hard to beat right now.
And that ice cream trip.
It would take a lot. It'd take a lot to do that.
And, Coach, there's the free time to golf. I was talking with a Razorback fan the other day that got paired up with you somewhere outside the Dallas area. A lot less free time to golf if you're having to worry about all that football stuff, right?
Hey, you're exactly right. And I got hooked on that game. I can see why Coach Broyles wouldn't. He loved golf so much. And, of course, he's part of the Augusta members and all that. And I never will forget asking him one day. We just got through beating Texas in the Cotton Bowl. We went to Hot Springs for a Razorback Club, and we got the tickets sold, and he's so happy. And I said, this is going to be a good time. I'm going to hit him with this. So we're on that school plane going back to Fayetteville. I said, Coach, I noticed you took Spurrier, you took Tommy Tuberville to Augusta. You think I can play some golf? Go with you sometime? No! No, I do not want you playing golf. Not now. I want you in the film room. I said, I know you took Tommy Tuberville. I want them playing golf. And so he wanted the opponents to play golf because he knew how much time it took, but he didn't want his coach playing golf. So he didn't allow me to go. But eventually he took me. I went with the Lindsays, and I got to watch. I didn't get to play. I got to watch, which was not a blade out of place, a beautiful place. We're getting on the wrong subject. But it just kind of shows you where Coach Broyles' mindset was, hey, I don't want my coaches playing golf.
No, you're not going to find any dandelions in Augusta, Georgia. So.
You got that right.
Yeah. So I know you'll be up watching some basketball. You've seen a lot of this league. Tell our listeners why they should come and watch basketball this week at Fort Smith Southside for the Great American Conference.
It's going to be a very exciting tournament, and I don't care which games I've seen all these teams play. Southern Nazarene won the tournament. Won the season, and they're number one. And they've got a guard. They got a good inside game. They're sound. They get up and down the floor, and they can shoot the ball. Harding can really shoot the ball. You got some teams from Oklahoma, Northwest Oklahoma. Very good. I mentioned Southern Nazarene. Oklahoma Baptist University, Shawnee's a very good team. They're really fun to watch. And then Ouachita. I'm partial to Ouachita. Dennis has done a great job. He was picked last, and he's done a great job. And, he recruited, I think Dickey kind of persuaded him. He always wanted to, he has a special place in his heart for high school players, and recruiting them and developing them. But this year you'll see he has a couple of older players mixed in with those younger guys. It's really helped his team. So I'm going to tell you, if you come watch it, Arkansas Tech, all these teams, there's always one or two guys say, whoa, this guy here has range. He can pull up at any time. He's a great one-on-one player. There's a guy going to go get the rebounds. He's a boarder. And it's fun to watch. It's good basketball. It really is a good basketball. This is going to be a good tournament.
So you and Danny are associated with Razorback football. Dennis and Dickey are basketball guys. So is the Nutt family a basketball coaching family or a football coaching family now?
Well, see, here's the thing. Those basketball guys had more longevity, a lot more longevity than the football coaches, man. They're so lucky they got to keep coaching. They're still coaching, and Danny and I, we're on the sideline, man, so we feel a little bit left out some days, But it's a basketball family right now because they're still going, and the football guys are on the sideline.
This is Coach. We got a text from JT in Hot Springs. He says Dennis Nutt is one of the best shooters I've ever seen. I saw him go 48 from 50 from the three-point line, lining up for one night before camp that he spoke at.
Yeah. You know what? Dennis is such a pure shooter, and we all wanted to be in the NFL, NBA, or both. Dennis was the only one in our family made it, but that's a true statement. If he had a three-point line, I saw him hit about 40-something against Phi Slamma Jamma one night. And if he would have had a three-point line, it might have been about 60. And Dennis had just such a pure shot and could really shoot the basketball. And he was something now. Played for TCU, was an All-American, and they did a heck of a job down there.
So let me bring this back to golf. When I was a kid, your brother was the assistant coach at what's now UA Fort Smith, but it was West Stark. He was working with Bobby Vint. And he lived on the number 4 fairway at Fianna Hills. And I was just a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid out there, 12-year-old kid, whatever, playing golf. And he'd sneak out that back door and chip and putt, and he'd start playing with us some. So I remember years ago he'd get out on that golf course at night after he'd get home and start sharpening up them golf skills. He said he had to beat his older brother. So
I tell you what, he's the best golfer. I always get on him. I said, well, you've been playing golf since your Dallas Maverick days, man. You played golf all day long.
Yeah.
And he's the best golfer. He's probably about 2 or 3 handicap. And then Dickey. So the basketball guys they're up on that game too. So we got to have strokes. Danny and I have to have strokes.
Well, I'll tell you what, pack them clubs and bring them with you. And Hardscrabble's just around the corner. And Ty and I'll take you out, and we'll chase that white ball around.
There's nothing like it. It's a great game.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you here at the arena, and I know you're going to be watching ball this week, and I know you had a big time speaking to the athletes last night, and we appreciate you making some time for us here this morning.
You bet. Thanks for having me, guys.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.